Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and greetings to this third installment of Talking Tourism with Futhi Sibiya. It's been a wonderful journey thus far, and let's hope it continues to be wonderful and you continue to join us and continue to enjoy the content that we are bringing you on Talking Tourism with Futhi Sibiya. We're going to be talking tourism with not just Futhi Sibiya, but with a very eminent tour guide in Durban who has accomplished many things, who has become known, who has exported the city's stories to places far flung. She will tell us how far her stories have gone. Hello to you and welcome, Nigiwe.
Hi, Mr. Spear. Ninjan.
Sipilile. Good to have you at Talking Tourism with Futhi Sibiya.
Thanks for having me.
Are you good?
I'm good.
From what I understand, you've just come from yet another full day. What were you doing today?
Today I was doing a city tour, which is one of the tours that I specialize in.
Sure.
And which is also one of my favorite tours because you get to get the overview of the whole city. Mm-hmm. So if someone starts with the city tour, they're going to get the overview of the whole city, and it's easier for them to then decide, where am I going next?
Okay. Interesting. How many people were you guiding today?
First session, I had 53.
53?
Yes. Mostly from Swaziland.
Uh-huh.
And I had 2 from Germany.
Uh-huh.
And another one that I didn't really get to hear where she was from. And then on the second session, I had about 40.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And also same.
It was the same.
More or less.
Yes, more or less, yeah. But okay. it was the same tour.
Okay. So today, your stories went to about 53 homes in the first part of the day and about 40 homes in the second part of the day. We know at least to about 3 countries.
Yes.
Isn't that the beauty of tourism, though, and the beauty of what you do?
It is. It is. I always tell someone who always asks me, what is it like being a tour guide, or what is tourism to me, something like that. And this is how I've always looked at it, that everything revolves around tourism. Mm-hmm. I always make this funny example of an ambulance. An ambulance is actually transport.
Right.
Which transports also falls under tourism somehow. Uh-huh. It's transport for sick people, but it's still transport. So if you look at it at the way that everything around you is tourism, and tourism revolves around everything.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. And that's exactly why you were invited to Talking Tourism with Futhi Sibiya. You were invited here so that we can get an inkling. We get insight info on what it is to be a tour guide, what it is like to be a tour guide, what are tour guides doing. But I want to first just delve into your story first, and then your story as a tour guide. As your story, Unigiwe deciding ukuthi she wants to go into this space. How did it come about? How did you even come across the concept, the idea of tour guiding?
Okay, so when I was in high school, in grade 10, where you have to choose subjects. Yes, it goes that far.
Okay, excellent.
But I had to choose subjects. I was fortunate enough to have both science, geography, and tourism. So those 3 subjects. So I knew that if I do not continue with anything that is science related, then it has to have geography and tourism. Well, geography and tourism is somehow one thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So came grade 11, I decided that when I'm finished with my matric exams, I'm continuing with my tourism journey.
Okay.
So I started travel and tourism in eThekwini College. Mm-hmm. It then made me qualify as a tourism officer. And then I started doing my internship with the eThekwini municipality, which is Durban Tourism. Mm-hmm. But I thought sitting in the desk for the whole day
is not what you had signed up for.
No. I was like, no, you know what? I need to get out more. And I was fortunate enough to, when my contract ended on this office, I went to another office, which is, I'm still going to talk about it. It's
Sure.
now a World Heritage Site.
Uh-huh.
So I found a gentleman there known as Mr. Mandla Numalo. If you've been to Ohlanga, you'd know him.
Uh-huh.
Every time when guests were coming in, he would take me with. So I started guiding, like, ngingaka qualify fully, and I thought, let me just take the guiding course. Why not? And that's when it started. And this was in 2018.
Interesting. I know Mandla well. And funny enough, you're not the only person that I have heard telling me that he inspired them. You've just given me an idea that our guests, our viewers must meet Mandla.
Yes.
He would be an excellent person to have, because you are not the first person to tell me that he inspired them to get into this space. What I've known of you is a person who's very involved with guiding, particularly the cruise ship guests. Why are you better known for that? Or at least, why have I better known you for that?
I think when you met me, like officially met me, I would always talk about there's a cruise ship coming. I just worked for this certain cruise ship.
Yeah.
And I do not mention like your normal cruise ships, which everyone thinks a cruise ship is MSC only.
Yeah.
I've worked with your Queen Marys, your Queen Elizabeth, your Norwegian Dawn, which is cruise ships that are doing world cruises.
Yeah.
So I think that's in your mind has always been that Nigiwe is so involved in the cruise ship.
There's a cruise
environment.
ship that landed here a few weeks ago.
Was Queen Mary too.
And what capacity does it have?
About 2,500.
Yeah, I was alarmed with those numbers. Now it says to me that just one form of transport is releasing 2,500 potential visitors to our shores. Do we treat them well?
I treat them well. So I would expect
Do you
someone
think Durban
else.
treats them well?
Durban treats them well.
Excellent.
A trained tour guide in KZN or in Durban or wherever, because you've received this training and you know what conduct or how you need to conduct yourself in front of the guest, or what you need to say and what you cannot really say, not unless the guest asked you, maybe
Yeah.
privately. So I can say we do treat them well.
Yeah. So to your knowledge, at least the ones that you've been exposed to, you may not know everybody. Where would you estimate the number of young African tour guides in the business?
Young African tour guides, I would say plus minus 50.
Okay.
And also, there might be more because there are more people who are now getting trainings, especially because the cruise ship environment is now opened to actually young, black,
Guides.
and youthful guides. I, for one, this was around 2022, 2023. I tried getting in the cruise ship industry, but it was still a bit difficult. I'm not going to mention a lot of things, but now that it's more open to young black African women like me, so we also encourage more
So it's
young
an
people to
opportunity.
Yes, it is.
Opportunity.
Yes.
All right. That leads me neatly to one of the things that makes me curious a bit. When you were still new to this, what is it that, and I'm specific to the cruise line guests, what is it that you remember was the one of those things that you said and you saw the reaction from your guests and you knew that, okay, I've got this? Whether it's because they lit up, they showed excitement, they showed curiosity, they were marveled, they showed interest. What's that one story that you remember stands out for you when you think about what you've done?
That is a very difficult and easy question because
Okay,
now
interesting.
there's many stories.
Right.
But what I recall is that my very first tour that I did, Sengi Qualified, was actually published in the Kenyan newspaper.
In the Kenyan
Yes.
newspaper.
So it turned out there was a Kenyan journalist as one of my guests, and that's how I got exposure. But she meant
So you've got that cut, you've got that framed, it's sitting prominently somewhere important to you.
not framed yet.
But it's there,
It's
that
there.
cutting. Okay, that's nice.
So I was doing Inanda Heritage Route, which is one of the most richest communities in the country, Inanda.
Is it though, or is that just a tagline?
It is.
It is the
In,
richest
in terms of history, in terms of our culture, in terms of our religion, and also we are just next to an Indian township, which we know that Tegwini, we contain one of like the highest concentration of Indians rather than anywhere in India, and this was from 1900s. So yeah, but I've got the Zulus, I've got the Indians near me, I've got the headquarters of the Shembe Church, which is also one of the biggest Zulu Christian church. If I'm able to package that in 3 hours, isn't that rich?
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, because what you're saying is you are able to give a religious tourism experience, you are able to give a heritage or historical tourism experience, you are able to give natural attractions experience, and you are able to introduce people, to immerse people to these different communities that are in the area.
Yes.
Got you. Sorry, I interrupted. You were still flowing.
So what I normally do, whether I'm going to be doing a tour that is outside of the city, I still give you like a mini overview of the city, even if it's just 1 hour. That's how good I am. I can be able to tell you about Durban in just 1 hour and take you to one of the main attractions, and then we can drive
on.
out.
Story that attracted this Kenyan journalist and ended up writing about it.
Honestly, she said she just liked the way I spoke, liked the way I was very cautious with time. I'm always very cautious with time because time
Sure.
it waits for no man. And also she liked all the attractions that she saw. She never thought that in a space of 3 hours she could learn so much about Durban.
Yeah.
And funny enough, she got excited because I also took them to the viewpoint where you are able to spot a 180 degrees view of the city. Yeah, it's known as the Cube. It's just next to the Clifton Boys School in Morningside. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. So let's just and I need to remind our viewers not to forget to click that button and ensure that they follow us, they ensure that they subscribe, ensure that they do not miss any of our episodes so that they can have more of such experiences. So let's then go back. You've just said to us that a person who has a 3-hour gap in their time will be able to experience Durban, appreciate Durban because of what you have packaged, and it will give them a reason to want to extend their time or come back to so that they can enrich their experience on their next visit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And what's your favorite Durban story?
Okay, that took me by surprise. But I love Durban because you get to experience both, like engasusema sababsini, engasusema kaya somehow. Like to make an example, Umgeni Bed Park is so close to the beach, but Mase Ungene Bed Park, it's like you're in a whole different world. Pezulu Safari Park is so close to the city, it's just a 45-minute drive, but you get there, it's the Zulu culture. Tala Game Reserve is just about an hour and 15 minutes away from here. Oh, there's a game reserve. We are still in Durban.
Sure, that's fascinating. So let me just recap what I think I've heard you say. You're saying one of the things that makes Durban so interesting is that you can do so many things within a short space of time, within a very close proximity, meaning that you do not end up wasting a lot of time traveling to different places. And you've made an example. You are saying you land in Durban at the harbor. Within 10 minutes from the harbor, you are enjoying the Golden Mile, our beautiful beachfront.
Yes.
From there, within 20 minutes, you are sitting at the Umgeni Bird Park, appreciating the birds, completely closed as if you're far, far, far away from the city and enjoying nature in its purest form, you say. Then you say, out of there, you can walk out. Within 20 minutes, you'll find yourself enjoying a beautiful lunch at a Shisanyama in a township like Wamashu or any of the nearby townships. Within 10, 15 minutes out of there, you are within a rural area. You are immersed in the cultural practices of a particular area. You are enjoying a gumboot dance session. You are watching an experience that is very culturally infused. From there, you are saying you could also be experiencing traditional religious practices of the churches, traditional churches that are within the area. And this is the diversity of Durban.
Yes.
You are saying to me, within an hour to an hour and a half, you are right in the middle of a game reserve, watching game, experiencing wildlife like they told you about the African safari.
Imagine. So if you have roughly 5-6 hours in Durban,
you are properly immersed. Properly. Not that you should not be staying 3 days, 4 days if you can, but we will give you value for your 3 hours.
Yes. So now imagine having highly trained tour guides and professional tour guides like me who are able to sell that.
Yeah. And able to make sure that once you've experienced it, you go home and talk about it and have others come to want to do the same thing.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I'm very interested in these stories about cruise. So you'll forgive me. I'll really stay there. As I remind you at home, as I remind you wherever you are, please make sure that you do not miss any of these conversations. We promise you that they are going to become very valuable if tourism is something that you are thinking about, or if it's not something that you have thought about, you might just reconsider. Nigiwe, from what I'm hearing, you meet different nationalities on any given week, particularly during the cruise season.
Yes.
And of the different nationalities that you do meet, I believe that you would have the opportunity to make a number of observations.
Yes.
Tell me about a moment that made you realize that wherever people may come from, whatever their background may be, people are essentially people. People are the same. If there's ever been such a moment.
Yes. So I sometimes get to be on the road. For an example, traveling from here to Ismangaliso Wetland Park would roughly be about 3 hours. And there's always going to be that one person who just needs to pee all the time. And funny enough, we thought she'd want like your high-end bathroom services and whatnot. It was very unfortunate that we were nowhere near a garage. And she asked if she can just go pee on the side of the road. She was like, I'm used to this at home. So why would I now?
Interesting.
I know.
Interesting.
And she said she actually enjoys it better.
To go there in the wild and yeah, sometimes we do exaggerate, right? Sometimes we do want to curate the best of everything and be high end when people are just people. Simple as you and I, who have the same struggles that you and I have. And if you can meet at that place where it's person to person level, then you probably are able to have a chance of making the best connections. That's interesting.
Yes, because now this happened about 2-3 years ago, but I still remember it even now.
Interesting.
And funny thing is that, so sometimes you get a guest who's going to want to keep your number, like your private number, so that they can just chat to you directly, not via a travel agent or DMC. I still get updates from her. So they travel the whole world and they're house sitters with her husband.
Okay.
I'm always getting updates.
Sitting in
We are now in Kenya. This is what it looks like. Have you tried this food? I know you're very picky with food. Imagine I told her once that I'm a very picky eater and she still remembers. So every time she's trying different foods, she would take a picture for me and ask me, do you think you'd be able to try this?
Okay. Okay. So it's an opportunity to also build networks,
It
to
is.
build long-term relationships.
It is.
Tell me, what's your best KZN go-to story? A go-to story in a sense that you know that this story always gets the reaction, whether you are French, you are American, you are Japanese, you are Indonesian, you come from the Reunion Island. This one story seemed to resonate with just about people from everywhere.
Okay. So, first things first, it's very exciting having to find yourself in one of the busiest ports in the country.
Sure.
We have the busiest, one of like 4 busiest ports in the Southern Hemisphere, and Durban is one of the busiest ports. Now, being able to find yourself there and you are able to actually go out of the cruise ship and have to experience what Durban or KZN looks like. I mean, KZN has the world highest swing, which is in Oribi Gorge. KZN has the smallest deserts in known as the Red Deserts, which is just near Port Edward. KZN has Ushaga Marine, which is an aquarium that offers the highest water slide. So things like that.
Do Devonites know this? Do KZNers know this?
I don't know. Do they? Do they know that in KZN we have World Heritage sites like your Drakensberg, UNESCO World Heritage.
UNESCO World Heritage.
Your Drakensberg, your Isimangaliso Wildland Park, and recently just been added Ohlange Institute.
Right here in Inanda.
Just here.
The richest community.
Would you
in South
not
Africa.
want to see a place where South Africa began ukuthi ibe free on the 27th of April when Nelson Mandela casted his first democratic vote? Would you not want to go see that place?
And be part of the experience and know that this man who had done time to secure this day,
Yes.
to experience this vote, of all places in the whole of South Africa, he decided that I'm going to have my first voting experience out in KZN, in Durban, in Inanda, at Ohlange Institute.
Yes.
Sure.
Still in KZN.
Yeah.
Howick, where he was captured. We are still in KZN.
So
Mostly when we speak about Nelson Mandela, we just focus where he was prisoned.
yeah.
But what happened before that? What happened after that?
So you are saying tourism is about packaging these stories and ensuring that people who connect with these stories experience them and they come to feel the places where they happen. So you are saying to me, Mandela gets captured in Howick, in
Yes.
KZN. The last time he was free prior to serving 27 years was in KZN when he was captured in, you said Howick or Hilton?
In Howick.
Howick.
Yes.
So you're then saying to me, he then goes and serves time in the most compelling sacrifice towards getting that right to vote. When he does secure that right to vote, he comes back to where? KZN, to cast his vote here. And you are saying this is the KZN story that is going to be compelling whether we are from France, whether we are from Italy, whether we are from wherever. This story is a compelling story. I wish KZNers knew that. I wish we sold that. I wish communities leveraged that.
Well, they will be liking and subscribing to talks with.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it. They will be subscribing. They will be following Talking Tourism with Futi.
Yes.
And they will get to know Nigiwe.
Yes.
Nigiwe will get to tell them about these things. And they'll be able to walk with their chest out. They will be able to walk with pride. They'll be able to walk with a stance in their step, knowing that they come from a province that offers so much. Beautiful to know this. Thank you. I really appreciate this. I really, really appreciate this. Tell me about the Red Desert. Smallest desert, what did you say?
It's just near Port Edward. It's just it's called the Red Desert. So that is the smallest desert in the world, actually.
The smallest desert in
Yes.
the world
Yes.
is in South Africa.
Is in South Africa.
In the province of
KwaZulu-Natal.
in the south coast of KZN,
Yes, yes.
in a place called Port Edward.
Edward.
And it is called the Red Desert.
Yes. Go look it up, maybe.
Go look it up.
Yes.
I'll be doing exactly the same thing. I'll be looking it up myself. Excellent. That's nice. That's nice. All right. Still on your experiences, because I'm really wanting a person to experience being a tour guide through your eyes.
Yes.
And experience a day in the life of a tour guide. Would you share with us a misunderstanding, a misconception, either about our country, either about a story in our country or a place in our country, a misconception that a guest, a tourist of yours had that you had the opportunity to use as a teachable moment?
Okay. So when guests, just before they can go out from the cruise ship, the security personnel, which would be your police, or they go there and they issue out a statement. They'll just read briefing rules, and I think that particular day, maybe the police was just having a bad day because they ended up telling the guests not to bring cash, not to bring your cameras. Now, imagine it's my first time being here, and next thing, I can't bring out cash, I can't bring out cameras. How am I going to capture these moments? And so I was lucky enough to had known the destinations manager from the cruise ship who came to me and said, Nikiwe, when you come back from this particular tour, can you just please take this particular guest to wherever she wanted to so that she can see that it's okay, she's okay. And I was able to do that because the cruise ship was actually staying for 2 days this time around. So it happens that they stay for a day,
yes,
and sometimes they stay for 2 days. So luckily enough, the following day I did have time, and we went on a walking Durban city tour. And she saw that it was okay.
And she had her camera.
She had everything, and she had me.
Buying, and all went well.
She got to buy one of the most amazing Indian spices in the whole world, which you can get from the Victoria markets.
Imagine if that was not the narrative. Imagine if we knew ourselves differently. We knew ourselves as a safe place.
Yes.
We knew ourselves as a place that can be enjoyed without worry, and be able to say that to people. I traveled recently, and it was quite interesting that the cab driver that was driving me told me that, oh, no, here, don't worry. You're free to go anywhere, no matter what time it is. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. And I felt a bit jealous. And I said, I mean, imagine if we could say that and say it about every little place. You can say that about a lot of places here. That's true. But there are places where you cannot say that. And it would be nice to be able to say that. So, yeah. Anyway, we might be running out of time. I need to keep reminding you to please subscribe so that you can have more of these conversations. You can pick up more from conversations such as this. I'm interested in something else, a little funny, I think, but a little inquisitive as well. I'm suspecting that of all the people that you get to see, there's a lot of them who are probably experiencing South Africa for the first time, who you probably the first Zulu young woman that they have ever met in their lives.
Yes.
So their first impression of a Zulu woman in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, is probably you.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
What do they take away?
Okay. In my trying to understand your question,
experienced you, what becomes their impression of a Zulu young lady because they have you as a reference point?
So normally I keep my hair like this.
Sure.
All natural. I don't know how many hands have touched my hair so that they can touch that it's real, and also, why is it so soft? What do you use? This other time I had cornrows with my natural hair. They couldn't believe it, to a point that I had to undo just one line so that they can see. And I was able to do it myself again. Like, so you can plait your own hair. So it was just also a way of showing them that Zulu people, especially Zulu women, we are very talented with our hands. I mean, we can make beads, we can make your grass mats or your grass basket. I'm able to plait my own hair. So I don't know, but they were just amazed.
I'll share something with you that's just going to reveal my ignorance on some things. So yesterday I had an opportunity of speaking to a basket weaver.
Yes.
And I'd always referred to those baskets as grass baskets. And without thinking much, for the first time I learned that it's actually palm trees that are being used to do the mats. And then in terms of the coloring, it was the first time I got to understand that how they get the different colors and the different stitches. And it was quite an experience. And for me, I started to say that this person is not just making and selling baskets. She's actually selling a story. She's selling a story of a palm tree that became a raw material that produced this mat. And when a person takes away this mat, they're taking a story, a piece of a particular place in Africa, in North Coast in this instance. But from your story now, I've just also realized that you're not just telling them stories and experience. You are sometimes the story and you are sometimes the experience.
Trust
when
me,
they touch that hair.
80% of the time, I'm like the main focus.
You have the tourism experience.
Yes, they are listening to my commentary.
Yeah.
They appreciate it a lot, but they also want to hear about me. They want to hear about my family. They are always wowing over the fact that we as Zulu people have big families. Like, I have 8 siblings. They've never had to live with 8 siblings.
Yeah.
They've never had to share maybe even the tiniest of things, like sharing your room and whatnot.
Yeah.
I've had to share my room with 3 other siblings. And so it's stories like that. And also, they love the Zulu language.
Is it?
Trust me, I'm not going to finish a 3-hour city tour
without being asked to speak in your own language.
Like, now, I don't even need to be asked. I just know when to introduce. Because normally I would be like, we previously had 11 official languages. We now have 12.
Yeah.
Yes. And then still, the Zulu language is the most spoken language in the country.
Sure.
Just a little
Sawubona.
Yeah, sawubona. And they always confuse sawubona with siyabonga.
Yeah. Now imagine, and this is a teachable moment for me as well. Yes. Imagine then you have somebody who is based in KZN, who is black, who is African, who has not acquired the language. Imagine the disappointment when they are not able to give that experience and hear that Zulu language being spoken.
I know.
It can diminish the experience.
It can.
Yeah.
With me, I generally cannot pronounce other words properly or some of the alphabets, especially in Zulu.
Yeah.
But when I'm in front of an American, a Japanese or whatnot, trust me, my cues that day. Yebo. And they don't know how to pronounce the Qas. Yeah. If I'm telling you, it's...
They will not hear the difference.
Yes.
Correct. They'll just hear the click. And I can imagine that you'll have a few moments where people are trying to practice that click.
Normally, I tell them that to master the Zulu language, you just have to know how to pronounce the 5 vowels in Zulu.
Yeah.
In English, it's A-E-I-O-U. But in Zulu, it's A-E-I-O-U. And they're like, oh, it sounds the same.
Yeah.
And I say, no, now let's add the A-E-I-O-U's to the Q's. It's
Imagine if you tried to get them to say
now that would also expose me.
That you might not even be able to say it.
But your little words, words like umboti.
Correct.
Well, if we're going to Pezulu Safari Park, they definitely going to hear the word umboti, ukuqomisa.
Yes. Correct.
Yes. But I always hear kakeki koku. They try.
It's interesting. And this also tells us, it also tells us that a tourism experience doesn't have to be something sophisticated out of big encyclopedias. It's little things because
Yes.
people come to experience people. People come to experience people's ways of life.
Yes.
And if you can make that like you clearly have successfully done, make it an experience, you've got your career.
Yes.
You've got your career.
Yes. True.
Let's try and land. One of the things that I wanted to just canvas with you, a lot of people. Interesting. You meet somebody, and are you from Africa? Yes, I'm from Africa. Oh, I have a good friend in Kenya. Do you know so and so? So I'm suspecting that a lot of people arriving in Africa, and because of what you do, they leaving from KZN, leaving from Durban. How do you make sure that you bring that reality? That they came here thinking that they are in Africa, and yes, they are in Africa, but in KZN, and not just in KZN, in Devon,
In Devon.
and maybe not just in Devon, at a particular part of Devon. How do you make sure that that reality sinks? That you're not going to know Octavia that they met when they were still in varsity 100 so many years ago, who came from Ethiopia. How do they make sure that they become a little more realistic, that you're not going to know the neighborhood that they have visited somewhere in Egypt, as it were?
Okay. I always say one of the most important elements in the guiding field or in the tourism field, you just have to be honest. Now imagine if someone asks me if I know someone from Kenya and I lie and I say I know that someone from Kenya, and then they ask me about a specific town in Kenya, am I going to be able to sell that to them? But ask me about Durban. Ask me what's the most what's the most attracting place I've ever been to in Durban, maybe for the first time or whatnot. Ask me about the Golden Mile. I'm going to be able to sell that to you. Like, for an example, we know that the Indian Ocean is always warm all year round, and we can swim all year round. Where else in Africa can you be able to swim all year round except for in Devon? That I can sell. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to exaggerate just because maybe I'm trying to fish for tips or whatnot, then
it can backfire.
yes. But if maybe you ask me, not even maybe, you ask me about Shushuwe Game Reserve, I'm able to tell you that because I've been there. And also, I think it's very important that if you're a tourist guide, if you've never been to that particular place, rather do not take that booking. Go there first,
Yes,
experience the place, and then you'll be able to come back with the truth.
I'll tell you a story. I I meet this gentleman, and we are introduced to each other, and then he says to me, "Tell me, do you know this guy?" He shows me a photo of him with somebody.
Yes.
And it just so happens that I know this guy that is in the photo. Not only do I know him, he lives in the same street as I do. And this is happening in London.
Imagine
What are the chances of that? Then the second person he asked me about happens to be a person, you will probably also know her. She works at Ismangali. And I happen to also know this person. So 2 people in a row. And I thought, okay, there was I thinking it's going to be one of those moments. But obviously, I was talking to somebody who understands the place, who knew exactly what he can ask me. And it so happens that I knew both of those people. What are the chances?
yes. Well, with us tour guides, if maybe a guest has been here 2-3 years ago, and they want to see Nikiwe again, then they would ask. Normally, yes, they take photos with us. Then they're going to show you a photo. Oh, do you know this lady? Blah, blah. Because we are in the same industry, then I would definitely know. Hey, but a cousin from Kenya, someone from Egypt, hey, It's a difficult one.
Perhaps last one. Let's think KZN, right? Let's think KZN all the way from, say, Port Edward, which would be the southernmost border, and let's go all the way up to, say, the Midlands. Maybe let's go past the Midlands. Let's go to the, what do you call this area that curates the Dundee area? It's what route is it known as? Let's think about that, and let's think maybe Durban all the way up to Ismangaliso, so maybe further up to Mkuze. And which other area have we not included in this? If you're thinking about that as a circumference, as the area, and you had to pick just one place, that if you had a guest that says, just pick me one place, I only have time and ability to visit just one place, which would you pick? Maybe let me not omit to say from the Golden Mile in the beachfront of Durban all the way into the Thousand Hills, maybe the Nanda Heritage Route, maybe the Sapphire Coast, let me not omit maybe Oribi Gorge, and maybe let me not omit the Midlands Meander. Which would be your
I have to pick one.
Yes.
That's very difficult.
I know.
But I would say Durban.
You'd still say Durban.
I'd still say Durban. Besides Durban being home to me, and
Right.
charity begins at home.
Sure.
So I
would expect no less.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
So I need also my neighbors to benefit. I need that crafter to benefit. I need the transport guy to benefit. And yes. So I would say Durban. And my answer is simple, as I've mentioned before. You can experience like different areas, but still in one place. Like you're still in Durban. As I mentioned, you even made the examples of the Umgeni Bed Park, your Tala Game Reserve, your Kwahumbe Game Reserves, your Pezulu Safari Park, your Phoenix Settlement. You've learned about the Zulus. You've traveled to the beach. You've seen Zulu dancing. You've seen animals. You've seen the beds, which they have more than 400 bed species from all around the world.
Yes.
But you are still in eThekwini region. So if we can just think about that, how rich eThekwini region is, we can go far.
Brilliant. Look, Nigeria, we could explore a number of things. I just wish that everybody in Devon, everybody in KZN, everybody in South Africa would have a chance to just be a guide one day. Just imagine if you were a guide guiding people, introducing people to your own area. What would make it work? What would make it not to work? Because if that was to be our orientation, if that was to be our thinking, we would probably do a lot more to make sure that our places, our surroundings become more hospitable, become more attractive, and they're able to attract the tourism income, and they're able to give tourism value to those that visit. It's been most wonderful to talk to you, and I'm hoping that we've given value to those who are our followers, and we have inspired those who are not yet our followers to ensure that they subscribe, they follow us as we have more of these conversations. Have no doubt, we'll invite you again. We've only explored one area, the cruise ship window to everything that you do, and there's so much more, clearly. Thank you so much, Nigiwe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great to have you. Thank you for tuning in once again, and thank you for making sure that you subscribe. Thank you for looking forward to our next episode. There will be more of this. Till next time. Thank you indeed.